Good morning guys and welcome back to Once Upon a Time. Today I was gonna do a slightly more serious type of video, but I'm not in a very serious mood, but we're gonna do it anyway. So it's half term. Don't know why that is relevant. So this video is on anxiety. No particular reason, I just thought let's get a bit serious on Once Upon a Time for once. So anxiety is the feeling of unease and worry or fear. It's sort of like long term. If it limits your life, that's when anxiety becomes a problem. Everyone feels anxiety. Everyday anxiety, normal anxiety is experienced by most people. If that's stress over exams or stress over a relationship. Anxiety happens all the time around us, but it's when it, as I said, limits your life and your ability to do things you want to do. And there are ways of coping with it. So you might be worried about a job interview. That's fine, it's one-off anxiety. Whereas the anxiety people with anxiety feel, I'm so great at explaining things, is a continuous worry. It's like a continuous overthink of really stupid things. It might be that they lie in bed every night thinking over and over and over again of a situation that happened years ago, and it keeps them up because they're overthinking. They can't calm themselves down. The other thing anxiety can do to you is panic attacks. Panic attacks are in their most normal form, sort of hyperventilating, crying, that sort of thing, which can be triggered by a stimulant, pretty much. So whatever makes you anxious would trigger that panic attack. But panic attacks don't always come in that form. It could simply be, I know of an experience of this, where it's simply you get more energy and more anger sort of thing, so you will be more energetic and more violent towards the people around you, and it will just be a sudden outburst and it'll be over. And that's your body's way of coping with what's going on up here. Yes, anxiety is linked to mental health, but it's not always a bad thing. Anxiety can just be a cause of a change in someone's life. So if something happened that was, say, scary, it could cause anxiety in that person and then affects them. So I forgot what I've said. There's some great coping methods. I have the little round tins of rescue pastels. I'll go get a tin in a minute. Should have brought one with me. And they're little yellow tins, and they just have little rescue pastels in, and you just suck on one, and they actually do help. I have to admit, they actually do help. The other thing is exercise. I'm in gym kit, that's because I'm going for my gym induction this morning. Exercise is one of the best ways for you to take out your stress, take out your anxiety, because you focus on your body instead of focusing on something else. Another way of helping is just listen to some music. Put on your favourite playlist, just sit there, listen to the music, think about the music. Don't other coping methods are just shift your focus. So if you're in a job interview or if you're in an exam and you start to get panicky, just focus on, say, in our school hall we have lots of paintings from past students, A-level art students, on the walls. Just take a couple of minutes out of your exam, focus your mind, and just take your mind off what's actually happening in front of you. reassure yourself. Tell yourself that what you're feeling is purely anxiety. There's nothing dangerous. You're not going to get hurt. Just think over it. Another great thing to do is talk to somebody. I have lots of friends to talk to. I'm sure you do. Just talk to somebody, your parents. It can be hard to talk to an adult, but talk to your friends. Make sure they know what you're going through. Talk about how you're feeling. Have someone you can text if you start feeling panicky, that sort of thing. Just take deep breaths. Simple. Take deep breaths, close your eyes, just step back from a situation before carrying on. And another great coping mechanism is keeping a record of what triggers your anxiety. So say if it's you're sitting in the front of the class and you spend the whole lesson worrying that people behind you are talking about you, even though you don't know they're not talking about you. That's what your brain goes to. It's like, hi, they're talking about you, and you're like panicking over that. Just write it down, and then you can identify what's happening, and it can help you recognise and take yourself out of those situations. Or you could talk to your teacher and ask to be moved back, that sort of thing. I also read on the internet, one of the best coping mechanisms is this thing called grounding, where you think of, it's to do with your senses. So you think of a thing you can see, and then you think of 2 things you can hear, and then you think of 3 things you can smell, that sort of thing. And you go through that cycle, and you end up doing, you think of 5 things you can see, you think of 5 things you can hear, you think of 5 things that you can touch, that sort of thing, and it just helps you feel in control of the situation in a way, and it's meant to help you cope really well. Obviously, if it's becoming a really big problem, then you should see your GP and see what they could do to you, whether or not that's talking to a counsellor or that sort of thing. There is a great website that I did have a leaflet on, but I don't know where it's gone. It's called Kooth, Kooth. And if you're a teenager who struggles with anxiety, you can sign up for this. And not just anxiety, depression, bipolar, bulimia, that sort of thing. You can sign up to it, and then when you start feeling a bit too much, you can just talk to the online counsellors. Not only that, you can set goals, so you can have a goal by this time you want to be feeling like this, or you want to have accomplished something you really want to do. Say if heights make you really anxious, but you would love to do something like that, you could set a goal to do, say, a high wire course or something like that, and just work towards it, and it gives you that focus. Also, it brings up articles. You put your interests in, it gives you a list, and you click them, and it brings up articles and different people and the advice they've been given, that sort of thing. Yeah, I just wanted to show you the tin. So this is the Rescue Pastilles tin. That's what it looks like, just in case you were wondering. Anyway, I know this has been a bit more like, yeah, bit more of a sensible video for OUAT, but I hope you enjoyed. I like sit down and talking because I like talking, and I like talking. So I hope this was useful, and I hope you live happily ever after. Goodbye.